Welcome back, guys. It is craft time. Let's go ahead and get started. In today's video, we are going to be working on a Dollar Tree project. This is a project that has been sitting on my shelves for a few months now, but something that I desperately need to get done. It's going to be super simple and easy. I am going to be making photography backdrops for the items that I flip. I am now entering, well, as all of you crafters know, we are entering craft season. So the fall and the holiday season is our busy time, and I'm going to be flipping a lot, and I just want to give myself some variety on the backdrops that I have for my items when I'm doing my picture taking. So for instance, if my table that I usually stage stuff on is full, like what happened to me this past video, then I can, use these boards to break up the background or go somewhere else in my room or in my house and give it that nice finished look that I'm looking for. But it also gives me a variety. So say my wall, it's like an off-white and I have a white object. I need something to give some variety and to dimension to that picture. So that's what these are going to help with. So what you're gonna need is just some of the foam poster board from Dollar Tree. You can even use the trifold if you need to. Just know that you'll need a little extra of the wallpaper pieces that you're gonna pick up. That would give you a nice kind of like break so that you have plenty of oh my gosh, my words, plenty of cover in the background. But just know that if you do the trifold, you'll have to build it vertically, not horizontally. I am doing mine to where it can be done either way, but mostly focused on horizontal. So again, you'll need the foam poster board, whatever ones you choose. It doesn't matter what color either, because you're going to be covering it up. You're going to need some of the wallpaper rectangles that they have. I picked up 3 different kinds. I picked up the brick, the herringbone, and the faux wood, like the white faux wood. I picked up 4 of each of those to make sure that I have full coverage on the foam board. And then you're going to need a cutting mat. So I'm going to do one on each side of the foam board instead of buying 4 different foam boards for 4 different backgrounds. I'm going to just be using both sides. So I'm going to be cutting my edges rather than folding them over. So I got the little cutting mat from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use the little cutting roller that they have, or you can use an Exacto knife or even scissors, whatever you have on hand to cut. And that's pretty much all you're going to need for this. So quick and easy process here. There's just a few things you want to make sure. So I'm going to lay out my poster board here. I'm going to remove the sticker from underneath. I don't think you have to, but I was worried that if it was one of the lighter colors, you might see it through there. But I will say these wallpaper segments are thicker than you expect from something from Dollar Tree. They're actually a decent thickness, and they, oh my gosh, words are escaping me. They have a really good adhesion to them. So they're really sticky on the back, which I was expecting a little less quality on them, if I'm being honest. So you're just gonna kind of lay these out before you stick them. So what you wanna do here is just make sure that everything lines up and matches. And they all lined up really well for me. So in this, I'm gonna be using the bricks wallpaper to kind of show you how I'm doing this. So I'm just gonna lay down all of them to make sure they line up. And then whenever I go into that second row, I'm gonna make sure that the bricks don't match each other. So if you see here, these 2 rows would match each other and look kind of funky and look more fake. So I'm gonna turn that piece around to where it's a different line of bricks that meets up to it. And then again, line up that 4th one, make sure everything looks good. I'm gonna move those out of the way now that I know where they go and what I'm planning on doing and where they, what goes where. And I'm gonna start by peeling the back. So they do have this awesome perforated strip that you can peel off. That way you can stick it down without the entire thing sticking on you. So you're just gonna do your very best to line it up. That first piece is the most important because the rest of your pieces will be going off of that. So you wanna make it as straight as possible. And you can do this just by using the corner of that poster board. So it's a good 90-degree angle and a really good basis to go off of. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get it as close as possible. So I'm just going to try to line it up in that corner And once I feel like I have it the best that I can, I'm going to stick down that strip that I removed so that it's adhered to the poster board. And then I'm just going to kind of fold it back, not all the way, you don't want to crease it, just kind of bend it back to peel off the rest of the back. From there, I like to put my hand in the middle and then push outward. Your hand works really great as a tool to make sure there's no air bubbles, but if you need to, Dollar Tree does also sell the little scraper that has like the flat edge. You could use a credit card, you could use anything with a nice flat edge to help get those bubbles out if you're having issue. Now again, this wallpaper has a good thickness to it, which is awesome because it makes it more forgiving and easier to get the air out. So once that piece is on and you are satisfied, you can move on to the next section. I'm going to go ahead and work my way from top left to top right. Again, I'm going to line it up the best I can, kind of get an idea where it's going to set before removing that strip, and then I'm going to remove it, line it back up the best I can, making sure there's not much of a gap between the two pieces of paper. If there is and you're struggling with seeing that gap, you can overlay this just slightly. I probably should have done that because I did have a slight gap in one of the boards, but live and learn. So I'm going to go ahead again, get it lined up best I can. Once I'm happy with it is, I'm going to bend it back and remove that backing. I'm going to repeat this process with the next two pieces. Again, making sure that when I line up that bottom left piece, that my bricks, the two lines that meet from the two separate pieces of paper aren't the same exact line. That's what's going to make it look funny and really off to the eye. Once I put those on, here's where if you're only doing one piece for this, you can just fold it over the edge and you don't need to do anything further. But I do plan on making each side of this a different type of wallpaper. So I'm going to just lay it down here on the cutting board, which I'm sorry, I struggled a little bit because I have some other stuff off camera on my desk and my tripod was in the way from me being able to really get this in on camera. So that's what you see me struggling with. But I decided to use the like the roller cutter, and that worked really, really well for this. So I just put my cutting mat underneath it, and then I ended up doing it kind of at a slight angle and just putting a decent amount of pressure. At first I wasn't putting enough pressure to completely cut through it. So put a decent amount of pressure and it's just gonna cut right through that and give you nice, crisp, clean edges. Again, you can use an Exacto knife or scissors or whatever else you have on hand. This is just, I found this, you know, it was gliding really well, it cuts really well, and it helped me keep those nice straight edges. From there, that's it. It's as simple as that. I told you it was nice and quick and easy. Now I am going to go ahead and show you how these other wallpapers line up together really nicely because, you know, if you didn't want the brick, if you're just curious of how well they do line up, here I have both the herringbone, I hope I'm saying that right, the herringbone and the white wood. Now the white wood, like it still lines up fine, it looks fine, but I don't love it a super ton as like where it lines up. I feel like it's kind of blockish and you can really tell. Whereas the other ones I feel like flow really well. Now with the herringbone, you want to be very careful that you, whenever you lay them out, that so the lines, you know, they're diagonal and they're every other one opposite directions. When you go to that second row, you want to make sure that they're going in an opposite direction than the previous. So don't fall into that trap. And then with the wood ones, like I said, just same with the brick, whatever that bottom line of wood is, make sure you have a different line of wood so that it doesn't look the exact same. Those repeating lines is what's really going to give it away. So again, these aren't going to be perfect, but going to be super helpful for me taking pictures of my items or whatever you might possibly be using them for. You can do this if you needed like a backdrop for a photo shoot. Just get, you know, you can get multiple pieces of the poster board and tape them all together and make a very large one. You can get larger pieces of foam and do, you know, like a big arched cutout or something, and it would be a super cute background. So I'm going to be using these again for the items I'm flipping or the items I need to take pictures of, but just as easily could make cute little propped up background pieces for whatever you need them for. So I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Really appreciate you being here and all of your support. If you want to share your projects with me, you can join me on my Facebook group page. You'll find that down in the description below. I'm going to take you in for a closer look, and I'll see you next time.